Simon Bramhall is a British surgeon, pretty good one. But he's in a little bit of trouble, I should say. Back in February of 2013 and August of 2013, he performed two separate transplants. He did, I guess, two separate operations involving the guts of a couple of patients. And I think they were both liver transplants. And so we know about this because one of the patients started having trouble with the transplant. Not uncommon. Sometimes, that's one of the mysteries of the body. Sometimes they will just reject new organs.
Right.
So when the person who had the first liver transplant went back in, a second doctor performed the second procedure and said, "Hello, what's this?" And the letters SB were burned into the liver that had been placed into the patient. That's Simon Bramhall.
His initials. Burned into the liver. He burned it into his liver.
Burned into the very flesh of the organ.
All right.
He autographed it.
He did.
Is that wrong?
It is.
Well, I think you have to go back and fix it.
He might have gotten away with it if that organ just had not been rejected.
Rejected.
So apparently it turned out the initials were only discovered when the transplant failed. Another doctor performed the surgery. That patient suffered from all kinds of mental health issues from the ensuing press maelstrom of coverage and trauma from the incident. And evidently Bramhall admitted that he had done it a second time in August of that same year.
On a lark with a little extra time, he puts his initials in the organ.
I've never been inside an I've been inside an outpatient room. But Dr. Bramhall used an argon beam coagulator, commonly used in surgeries, but he used it like you would a wood-burning kit.
Yes, to burn his initials onto the liver.
Okay.
That's assault.
Okay.
That was assault, and he has pleaded guilty to both counts of assault, sentenced to community orders and unpaid work, and a fine of £10,000, which is $13,000.
Okay.
Keeps his license.
Kept his license, but they reviewed it in December of 2020, and citing professional arrogance of such magnitude that it strayed into criminal behavior. 3 days ago, his name was struck from the medical records. He's lost his license.
He's lost his license.
Permanently.
I'm going to say something controversial. I think he should get to keep his license. Because I think pay the fine and it's criminal and all that, and probably the hospital
Pick up some trash,
right? And the malpractice,
empty some bedpans,
and give the person that was overwhelmed with the media like a civil suit money and stuff. But if he's a good surgeon, and apparently he's fantastic, and promises not to do it again, I think we've robbed people of a good surgeon here. So I think he should get to keep his license. Plus, my understanding is it didn't harm the organ. It just branded the organ. It was the rejection of the organ that caused the problem. So
why can't he put his name on his work?
Yeah. I'm going
like a Picasso.
It's a work of art.
Yeah.
He can put his initials on there.
Like a Monet.
Yes. I'm going to say maybe he loses his license 6 months, a year. But I think as long as he promises not to do it again, I'm okay with
he appears to have what they say is bordering on criminal arrogance.
It's the God. it's the God complex that some surgeons have. That's what they say about surgeons sometimes. But if he's really good, now we've lost a really good surgeon.
What if he's an OB/GYN and delivers your child and autographs the bottom of the foot?
I don't like that because that's, he has to see that. Theoretically, the other person never even knew it was done because you don't see your liver, obviously.
No.
That's left to if there's ever an autopsy or another surgeon.
But it is mutilation.
Oh, it is. It is mutilation.
But you want him to lose it for 6 months.
I mean, you brought it up earlier this week, I think, mistakenly, Kelly, the Hippocratic Oath. I'm pretty sure one of the tenets is, first, do no harm.
But did he do any harm? The organ works properly. It wasn't his fault that the one got rejected. The other one is doing just fine.
If the organ had failed, maybe.
Yeah, if he had done it, if that had caused like some sort of huge problem, that's one thing. I'm sure he didn't think it would ever come back and no one would ever know. Look, some punishment.
But he's not going to open up and tell you all the other times he's done it.
Well, he says he's done it twice. He didn't even have to admit the second one because the second guy's never come forward.
Yeah, but Dave's right. That begs the question, how many other hearts and
I think
kidneys has he done?
I believe him that he's done it twice. And even if he said, okay, I've done it 100 times, as long as he doesn't do it again.
I mean, you're hard up for surgeons.
I just feel like, why are we going to lose a really good surgeon over something that shouldn't ever cause a problem?
Because medicine is, you're supposed to be.
Yes, you are.
We
Yes.
for whatever, for a number of reasons, society puts medical practitioners in a different, we hold them into a different standard.
If you can't trust them with your organs, can you trust them with their billing and with their everything else that they entrust to you as a patient?
But I would argue on his behalf that you can trust him with the organ. He's done no harm to the organ. He's just...
Well, we don't know that long term.
Yeah, I mean, the sculpting on the liver, it might have had something to do with something.
Well, maybe, but I would think as a surgeon, he'd probably... I don't think he would try to do anything. I would think he'd know, well, this is not going to do any harm. I'm just putting my initials in it.
Yeah, but
Now, what if you put his family crest on there?
Well, it's a little more intricate.
The Bramhalls.
Even still, I'd just say don't do it again.
Don't do it again.
Because he's a good surgeon. Now we've lost a good surgeon.
But there's always young doctors coming up.
always.
Well, if there's a glut, fine. But the healthcare industry has been stretched to the brim recently. I mean, it has been stretched. So I hate to lose one here.
That's like that Law and Order that I watched, and I know you've seen it, where women were trying to get pregnant.
I saw it.
And they couldn't. And the doctor was the one using his own seed.
Yeah, his own.
And he had like...
Yeah, 100 babies.
Well, that happens sadly in real life a lot.
But the thing is, it was the most dangerous. He'd been doing it for years, and they all lived kind of within the same range of New York City.
Yes.
That if they grew up, happened to get together, have a baby.
I'm against that.
Yeah,
Why?
but
I think it causes huge problems down the line.
but he's a good doctor.
He's good, but he's causing real problems for people. I think this was just. I don't think it causes problems to put your initials on a liver. I've not been
I don't think we know.
I've not been. I think he does. I think other well, they gave him his license back at first. I think they would have said absolutely not. And there's another Law and Order. How about this one? This is a great one.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen it. Somebody is waiting for a transplant of a heart or something, and they have to get it within the hour or they're going to die. Somebody else comes in, they've been on life support, and they're going to die within the next few hours. So the doctor speeds it along. He gives them a little something to make the person die so he can take their heart. And he says, whatever he did, they signed off before the person died, basically, and took the heart. So they're saying the doctor was up for murder because the person was going to die in a couple of hours, and he saved a life. It's a hard call. I mean, two people would have died if he didn't do it.
Yes, slippery ethics.
Big time.
Slippery.
Big time.
What's the difference between ethics and morals?
I don't know either one. I couldn't tell you either one of those things.
I'm asking the wrong guy.
Justin, you're talking about carving your initials on somebody's liver. Wrong or right? Go ahead.
Yeah, hey, look, P1 here. Thank you, guys. Yeah, man, wouldn't you, if you had a liver replacement or any organ replacement for that matter, wouldn't you want to kind of brag about the artist that saved your life?
Yeah.
Like, yo, he just saved my life, gave me a brand new liver. He even tagged it for me. It's kind of like when you get a cast, everybody signs it. What you'd be like, wouldn't it be the same thing, right? Like,
that's what I'm saying. You're on my side.
Yeah, but you can see a cast.
With you.
And they cut those off.
100% with you.
They do take them off eventually.
Thank you, Justin. Appreciate it. Well, we'll see what Lisa has to say
All right.
about it.
Yeah, we'll just see.
I think he should keep his license, but pay a fine.
And don't
Do it again. And I want him signing something that he won't do it again. He knows how to sign. We've seen that. Let's
Now,
put
initial
it-
here at the bottom. I know.
Ironically, I need you to initial every page saying you won't do this again.
Put away the burner. Just use a pen. Show off.
This guy. I know.
But you got to do it in the operating room. Other people see it, yeah.
Other people saw it.
You would think other
You'd think.
other witnesses would have been.
Unless maybe he was saying, okay, I'll close, everybody going, and then just did it.
Like I
You would
said,
think other people did see it. That's right.